Okay, as we start Act 4 of Julius Caesar, these are some of the things that we need to consider. One of the first things that is important, we talk about the structure of the play as a whole, we talk about the plot. We've established that Act 1 is always the setting and conflict, Act 2 is rising action, Act 3 is always the climax. Now we're to the point where we're in the falling action part of the play, and things start to become unraveled. We see that the state of Rome is not in disarray, in good order. We have chaos. We're going to have some political purgings. So we've got some bad things happening. We also are trying to figure out what the relationship between Brutus and Cassius is. We're going to talk about how we're looking for the conflict there. Another element, and this was described earlier in some of the previous lessons, but we're studying character foils, and that's when a minor character contrasts the main character, and it really sets the main character apart. And for this play, we've always said that Brutus has a foil, and his foil is Cassius. And so we're going to see that at work. We established earlier that Brutus was a Stoic. We've also established that Cassius is kind of choleric. He's also, according to Plutarch, attributed to the more barbarous and evil parts of the conspiracy, whereas anything that was beneficial was attributed to Brutus. So we're going to kind of talk about that. And then as a review of basically every work of lit we've done this year, foreshadowing events or clues which predict the future events. And I've kind of talked about motifs, which are small patterns in literature, but in Shakespeare he uses ghosts an awful lot, and that's going to be played out here in Act 4, and that's what we need to be looking for. As I move forward, then Act 4, Scene 1, the scene is Rome. We have Antony, Lepidus, and Octavius. They are the triumvirs. That means there are three people in charge in Rome, and those are the three. What we see that they're going to be doing is they're going to be purging political enemies with their black spot. We are also going to see that Antony really doesn't like Lepidus. Let's see how he characterizes him. So that's what you're looking for, is what he says. We also learn in that scene that Brutus and Cassius are getting ready. And so our essential question at the end of Act 4, Scene 1 is what kind of state is Rome in now? If you're able to answer those questions and be able to identify where they're speaking about these things, you're in good shape as you're reading Act 4. Act 4, Scenes 2 and 3, because Scene 2 starts in Sardis, but Act 3 goes inside of the tent in Sardis. We're looking for the following things: the conflict between Brutus and Cassius. We're going to see that Cassius has a friend named Lucius Pella, and he ended up getting in trouble, and that caused a rift between Brutus and Cassius. We're also going to see that money is an issue between Brutus and Cassius, so pay attention to this. We're also going to see how Brutus and Cassius are foils. They really are foils in this scene. You're going to see Cassius acting in some strange manners, and you're going to see Brutus staying relatively stoic throughout the whole thing. Once again, we talk about being choleric. One of the issues, that means to be hot-headed, easily given to anger. That's an important character trait for Cassius in this play, and we'll see that Cassius will go from being completely happy all the way to completely angry in a matter of a couple of seconds. Same thing here. And even then, he'll go from here to being completely and utterly morose to a point in Act 5 where he even commits suicide. So you're just going to see that Cassius is here, there, and everywhere. Some of the things that students have said in the past is he must have been bipolar. Well, we don't know about all that, but just saying. An idea for the characters. We're going to see Brutus as Stoic, which is the philosophy of showing self-control and fortitude rather than yielding to destructive emotions. Here we go. This is why he's a foil, because look, these are all emotions up here, whereas our guy Brutus tends to show no or little emotion. We're going to see it when we realize how he reacts to the fate of Portia when Brutus and Cassius are discussing it inside their tent. And then we're also going to talk about the foreshadowing and the appearance of Caesar's ghost. In Shakespearean play, anytime there is a ghost, there is trouble on the horizon. So we are always looking for ghosts inside of Shakespearean works. So that's basically what we need to be looking for as we're reading Act 4, Scenes 1 and 2 and 3. And this is where we see some great quotes. If you know who this quote is and what it's about, you're in good shape. There's no terror, Cassius, in your threats, for I am so armed in honesty that they pass me like the idle wind, which I respect not. That is an important quote, and it kind of shows this conflict. Will you be able to identify it and why it's important on the test? That is a major, major thing.